I got so fed up and bored with one of them, I just started filling out circles at random, just like straight lines and crap like that. Man, I was having fun, because I was, those are stupid, pointless tests. They're not for you, they're for assessing like how good your teacher in your school is compared to other schools and whatnot. But I got in trouble for that, actually. I got in big trouble, and I even used pen on it. I was given 40 hours of, I don't know what you call it, community service or like work. There's a certain amount of time of work you have to do as a dorm student. They added to that 40 hours of work. I had to rake leaves for 40 hours, basically clean the gutters and clean around the dorm. They didn't even need janitors. They just made us do all the work. Oh yeah, I want to show you this picture. This is a picture of my Christmas banquet date and I. Every Christmas, apparently they had this Christmas banquet and you had to ask a date out. Now this is a big thing, I guess. Feel really nervous. How do you ask a girl out when you're like that young and you're just this nerdy little boy? But anyways, I kind of like this girl, and I asked her out. I forget how exactly, but I remember at one point I wrote a note to her later on telling her that I really liked her and whatnot. I think she wrote back, and I forget exactly what she said, but it was a turn down, a bit awkward there. That time was when Fly came out. If any of you trying to reference the time, that's when Fly from Sugar Ray came out. And also radio was a big tool for me to kind of get into the culture at the time, listening to the songs on the radio at night when I'm supposed to be sleeping, putting a tape in the recorder to record the songs that I like from the radio. And Fly was like my favorite. And I used to love listening to the top 10 countdown, whatever they had on the weekends, and hoping Fly would come in number one. I think they came in number one week, and the other weeks are like number 2 or something. Also, Third Eye Blind was really famous that time. What's that song called? Semi-Charmed Kind of Life. Yeah, really big. I remember going to a store and thinking about buying the Sugar Ray CD and giving it a listen in the store, because at the time you could like go and sample it in the stores and stuff. And I was listening to it and I found out that Fly was like totally different from any other songs on that CD. They're all like really crazy. I liked it. I thought they were cool, really rock, like thrash metal, I don't know, with a lot of... I remember asking my dorm father if he could approve the CD before I went and checked it out. And then when he came to me afterwards, like I'd only listened to Fly and I thought the rest of the CD would be the same, like cool music like that. And he comes to me really serious afterwards, like, did you really want to approve Sugar Ray? Do you know there's one song with 14 F words in it? Did you know that? I can't believe you asked me if I would approve this shit. Like, he was pissed that I wanted to approve a CD. I had no idea there was a song with 14 F words on it, but he was pissed at me because he thought I don't know what he was thinking. Okay. At one point I decided I wanted to write a novel to kind of show people that I could do something good in the world and kind of like show them off. I'd spend my nights staying up late and with like a flashlight writing this novel based on what if the Russians had colonized North America before England and the other people did, and like the West Coast and East Coast. West Coast was Russia and East Coast was all the other European countries and stuff, and like what if there was a war and stuff. I never finished that project. It was a cool idea, but my writing skills, like, they really weren't anywhere near where they should be when you're writing a first novel. I would listen to Weezer illegally while I was writing it. Like, Weezer music inspired me like crazy. So there weren't all bad times at this boarding school. Probably one of my all-time highs was breaking the high jump record for my age group at that boarding school. I loved it. It was one of the best times of my life, I swear to goodness. It was so cool. Like, for a day I was a star. Like, seriously, I was a star for a day because I broke the high jump record. That was so cool. And I'd just like to take this time right now to talk about one of the more touching moments of my life at this boarding school. And that was when one of my teachers, who I didn't think I got along very well with at the time, Mr. Duncan. And if, Mr. Duncan, you ever come across this video by any chance, I'd like to give you a big thank you for showing me a lot of kindness and love. Just before our 8th grade trip started, like the 8th graders went on a trip for like 4 or 5 days at the end of the year. A lot of the kids had a lot of money because they weren't from the boarding school and from the boarding part of the school. They were actually from outside of the boarding part of the school. And he comes to me and he says, I want to give you 40 ringgit. I really didn't have very much money, and I thought that was really, really kind of him to actually give me some money, knowing, like, as a missionary kid, how little money we actually have. Thank you very much. I ended up buying a CD with that music. STP, Stone Temple Pilots, Tiny Music. fantastic CD, lent to a friend. He lent it to a friend, never got it back, but nevertheless, I really enjoyed it while I had it. About that trip, it was amazing. Some of the kids in my class and I just kind of gelled just on that trip together. We went to Kuala Lumpur, and it was great. It was fun. And even some of the girls were hanging out with me, and some of the girls actually began hanging out with me. I guess that's a big thing for me at the time. We're playing cards on the bus. Maybe some flirting going on too, I'm not sure. But it was definitely starting to get better near the end. But guess what? By the end, I already made this decision not to ever return to Dalat school. It was already too late. Even if things were starting to look good, even if the next year could have been good, could have been the best year, but I'd already decided I didn't want to go back to boarding school mostly because of the teachers at that point and not getting along well with my dorm father and the teachers. I had visited the principal's offices a number of times. And to cap this all off, I know it's been a long vlog, and thank you very much if you've made it all this way. All efforts to reconnect with anybody from boarding school has so far failed horrendously. Facebook addings, I've ended up deleting them because any comments I make to their pages never get returned. If you know a Gary Kim from Korea, same age as me, likes the New Jersey Devils, direct him to me, please. He's kind of tall, good fashion sense,